This is good? Or does it look like this?
Yeah, if you just hold it right here on your chin.
That close?
You don't have to, but I'm just saying a fist away from your mouth.
If it's here, it's going to be too far.
So like this is good.
That's perfect.
Well,
Just away from your mouth. All right, we're good to go.
Perfect. All right, Assalamu alaikum everybody, Fahad Siddiqui here, and I am so excited to be joined with Mr. Salahuddin, one of the founders of the Islamic Games, which of course, as you all know, we have a partnership sponsoring them all throughout the country. So welcome, thank you so much.
Thank you, Brother Fahad. Really appreciate being here and sharing this green moment with you.
Absolutely. For all the people out there, give us an introduction to the Islamic Games. What is it? How did it come about? And how can people be part of it?
Well, thanks again, Farhad, for having us here, and I really want to give a shout out to Ikhlas for understanding and seeing the vision of Islamic Games and investing in it. Islamic Games started about 35 years ago in Queens, New York City, one of the biggest cities in the world.
Of course,
and it quickly grew. It grew to an event where more than 2,500 athletes would compete in a 2-day weekend.
Okay.
And it's a multi-event sport. It's a multi-age, multi-gender. So it really brings everybody together. The reason why we did this and why we created this is because we felt that first of all, sports is a sunnah.
Of course.
And there's no institutionalizing of that sunnah in our community. So Islamic Games provides a credible, comfortable, easy environment for us to practice our sunnah, which is sports. Of course, sports in the days of the Prophet was not really for leisure.
Right.
It was for protection. Protection of the self and the family and the community. Sports, to a lot of extent, today protects us from enemy within. Things like cholesterol, things like diabetes, things like mental stress, and so on. So Islamic Games really took the entire community by storm and has exploded across the U.S. As you know, and Ikhlas, as a partner of Islamic Games, we've been doing Islamic Games throughout North America, in Canada, and 6 cities in the United States.
Wow.
Islamic Games have been growing almost 200% every year. This year we competed almost 8,000 athletes.
Wow.
And we continue to grow. But at the end of the day, Islamic Games really is meant to provide a healthy lifestyle to Muslim community, meant to enhance our ability to be a healthier, stronger community. Stronger individuals make stronger families. Stronger family makes stronger community.
Definitely. A lot of it starts from health.
Absolutely.
And being healthy, right? Also, I grew up playing sports myself.
Great.
So I can speak to just as an athlete, the discipline that goes into it, the focus, the dedication, right? It helps our youth keep their minds focused on the right things and not getting distracted into the wrong things. Now, you said Islamic Games started 40 years ago?
35.
35 years ago. So you've seen it from the beginning to now.
Absolutely.
How has it evolved? How has it changed?
It has changed because at one time, when it started first, it was individuals who had a passion for sports.
Right.
I came from a very athletic family. My dad was a professional athlete. I had five brothers, including myself, 6 boys in a family, and we had to constantly compete.
What sport did you play?
Well, I did cycling growing up, and I did a lot of basketball. I did play for high school in Queens, New York.
Awesome.
But my other brothers did from boxing to cycling. One was a very accomplished basketball player. Okay. My dad was a power lifter. He was an Olympic athlete.
Yeah.
So, and he was also a scientist. A lot of the nutrients that he fed himself, he fed us.
Wow.
And it made us strong. But coming back to Islamic Games started as people who loved sports that came together, brought other communities to compete. We loved sports and we loved Deen, those two things. So in recent times, we've seen that American Muslims, or Muslims in America, are a lot more American than they are Muslim. Not a bad thing, a good thing. In other words, they're second, third generation American Muslims. And as American, they want to do American things. What's more American than sports?
Of course.
There's nothing more American than sports, right? And sports is one of the things that scholars, sheikhs, imam, your parents, your wife believe is halal, and they encourage it. Imams are encouraging. Muslims today, masjids today are going beyond the musalla. They're building a musalla that's about 40 feet by 50 feet, and they're building basketball courts, soccer fields, swimming pools, weight rooms. You know, masjids are doing these things. Why are they doing it? It's because the community is demanding it. That's where the American ideals are in them, and if they don't Americanize, quote unquote, the masjid and bring sports to the masjid, they will lose the community. So Islamic Games is a direct response to something like that, where hundreds of masjids are creating leagues, they're creating academies, they're creating space for sports. And where does all this energy end up? It's got to go somewhere. So Islamic Games was created to celebrate those communities that are digging in, that are building stronger, healthier communities. And I'll tell you something, as a person who's been involved with sports, and you know this well as an athlete, there's two things that young people love. They love to compete and they love to win.
Of course.
And Islamic Games is an opportunity for the thousands and thousands and thousands of Muslims across the US and Canada to come as Muslims, to compete, to win, and to celebrate with each other. And it's an incredible chemistry when you put all that together. And you add the diversity of Muslims. You add our diversity of food into it. You add the diversity of sports that we bring to the table. You put all that together, it's an incredible experience. I'm sure you're going to be there, so you'll experience this firsthand in Houston.
Is one of the chapter cities. Yes. We have the Islamic Games in Houston is going to be September
27th and 28th.
28th.
Yes.
I will be there. Will you be there as well?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be there.
Okay, perfect. So you mentioned annually 8,000 athletes participate in these Islamic Games. What's the format? It's a 2-day weekend. Can anybody sign up? How does it work?
So the Islamic Games, we work with leagues, academies, Muslim schools, Muslim communities, youth organizations, and just about any other organizations that are involved with sports. We work with them to get them ready and prepared for the Islamic Games. And these things happen months and months and months in advance. In Houston, for example, we are working with ISGH, who's a significant partner for us. And if you know ISGH well, you know almost all their masjids are big in sports.
Yes.
They have their own league, you know. So their league is a direct partner of the Islamic Games. We're working with MAS in the Houston area.
Correct.
We're working with about 4 or 5 different leagues. There's I think like a dozen major Muslim schools. I just got a text from one of them. He's got 23 teams that are coming to the games.
Okay.
You know, so it's a novelty for Houston because this is our first year in Houston.
Right.
I'm quite sure, like everything else, Texas, the Islamic Games is going to be big in Houston, and but yeah. So teams. We've invested an incredible amount of resources and thinking into what we do. So when you come to the Islamic Games, every little detail is worked out. We are a paperless organization, so everything is on our app.
Yep.
from registration to scheduling to scoring, bracketing, all our payments, all of our rules, anything to do with sports and Islamic games and how you can have an incredible time at the games are all on our app. So we invest a lot into technology. Teams and they register online as a team.
Yeah.
We promote diversity. In other words, we want teams and leagues and schools and communities to come looking spirited, their color, their brand, their name. So it's an interesting concept that has evolved over the years, and alhamdulillah. At one time, I love to say this, but at one time, Muslims came to this country, and we were just about trying to get an education in the 60s. We came here, we wanted to get an education, we want to become an engineer, a doctor, an attorney, and then another wave came, and they wanted jobs. And then after we got jobs and education, we wanted to build communities. We wanted to build masjids to pray. And we built masjids. After masjids, we built institutions, like schools. And then we started going deeper, and then you ended up with institutions like Ikhlas, like Guidance, UIF, Amana, financial institutions, which is a significant growth in our community.
We've come a long way, yes.
We've come a long way. To have Islamic insurance is an incredible evolution in that journey to become that community. And then we went further. We got all these big conventions.
Yeah.
The next big wave for the Muslim evolution is to move to more mainstream American thing, and sports is one of those things.
Yeah.
And I can tell you this, and you know this as much as I do, I would say 80% of the youth at the ISNA convention and the ICNA convention and the MAS convention either are involved in sports or are aspiring to become an athlete.
Yeah.
And the next wave of the Muslim evolution, when we started from just coming as immigrants for a job, the next wave is to become athletes with a voice that can influence our outcomes.
Right. You bring up so many interesting touch points here that we could probably talk for hours, but I want to touch upon this because you brought it up, where the evolution of the generations that have come one after the other.
Correct.
Today we're in 2025, which is very different than 1975.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And obviously, the genesis of your organization, Islamic Games, is sports, which is kind of physical health related, right? How do we stay strong physically? How do we stay strong in competition? All the while, you're talking about also keeping up with the American mainstream. I want to add on to that a little bit to be what we're doing here at Ikhlas is trying to add health and strength in the financial space, right? Because we also want to provide to our youth and our next generation the ability to protect ourselves, right? Number one, if you participate in the Islamic Games, you're going to be healthier. Absolutely. You're going to live longer, and alhamdulillah, you're going to get to see your family grow for a long, long time. So in that regards, speaking of kind of American mainstream ideas and topics, insurance has been something that maybe nobody has ever talked about.
Yeah.
You tell me, when you came to this country, you were more worried about getting a job.
Absolutely.
You were more worried about getting education. You weren't necessarily thinking about investing, 401k, savings, protecting my family with life insurance. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Absolutely, and I totally agree with you. The health of a person or a community or a family is not only their emotional health, it's not only their physical health, And emotional health and physical health is really meant for the tomorrow, for the next week, for the just in case.
Right.
A lot of fitness guys tell you that the stronger your legs, longer you will live.
Oh yeah.
Right, stronger your legs, longer you will live, because you're able to walk, you're able to do things, you keep active, and so on. So, and health insurance and 401ks, it's health for tomorrow.
Correct.
It's health for next week. Financial health, that is.
Yes.
Financial health. And as Muslim, we know the Prophet said a balance is what Muslims aim for.
Definitely.
We go for a balance. In other words, we can't be all healthy and we don't have financial health. We can't be physically healthy and we have weak financial health.
Right.
We can't be emotionally strong and physically weak.
We can't
be financially.
We can't be rich if we have a lot of debt.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. The balance.
Yes.
We've got to have emotional, financial, spiritual, financial health, and I'm glad that there are institutions like Ikhlas. Hey, American Muslims have some of the best financial demographics.
Correct.
In the United States, our buying pattern is healthy.
Yep.
Companies love. We don't buy sneakers. We buy house.
Yes.
We don't buy a bicycle. We buy a car.
The highest earning demographic here in America is South Asians, Middle Easterners, which inherently Muslims.
A lot of
Muslims. Correct.
So the thing is, if we don't,
where's all that money going?
We need to keep some of that money in our system, and more importantly, these are the brands that's going to, on the flip side, help us with our other aspects of our life. For example, Islamic Games.
Right.
Who do you think is supporting Islamic Games? Is companies like Ikhlas.
Correct.
If you don't support companies like Ikhlas to grow and to keep money within the community, how does the community support and strengthen itself?
Right. So let me ask you this. When you hear the words Sharia-compliant life insurance, what does that mean to you, if anything?
Well, I must say, I must confess to you that I've been involved with the Islamic finance world for quite a while.
Okay.
I am a marketing and advertising consultant, so I've worked whether it was with Amana or Guidance or UIF or Sharia Portfolio, Wahid Invest. I've been part of their journey of growth in the United States.
Correct.
As a consultant. So I'm proud of that. Sharia compliant, really what it means to me is the ability for Muslims to participate in mainstream finance without compromising their values.
Correct.
Muslims have certain values that needs to be strengthened, that needs to be catered for, and like everything else that a Muslim does, we imbue value into it.
Right.
In other words, we eat halal. That's a value, right?
Correct.
We dress a certain way. That's value. Modest, right? Modest. That's a value. We engage with relationship with wives and children.
Correct.
In a certain way. That's a value.
Yeah.
Our relationship with money cannot be a Wild West. It has to also confirm with so much thing that Islam tells us to do by layering it with a value.
So you're a great person to speak on this because you've been involved.
I have been
with all of the industries, the Guidance, Islamic mortgage, Amana, investments.
Yeah.
So as Muslims, we've done a great job over the years of earning a good income. We've now got the tools to invest.
Yep.
And we've got the tools to grow, build our wealth through real estate.
Yeah.
We finally solved the protection box, right? And that's what Ikhlas was here to do. I think it was the last frontier, if you may call it, of how Muslims can finally keep up with the Western trends, but
Yeah.
like you said, aligning it with our deen,
Yeah.
right? So, life insurance obviously has been available for the past decades, but never in our way, in our
Yeah.
Muslim way, the Sharia-compliant way. So, alhamdulillah, with the help and guidance of Sheikh Joe Bradford, we've finally been able to kind of crack that code
Yes, yes.
and offer a real solution to protect families, not just today, but
Yeah.
for tomorrow and the generations to come.
I mean, Muslims should not shy away
Yeah.
from products that are financial. You know, I always tell people, whether by design or whether by default, the Prophet married one of the richest women of his time. You know, the Prophet's earliest companion was the richest.
Yeah.
He did not say, "You guys are rich. You might be evil. Step aside. I need poor people to only accept Islam." The earliest were the richest, and they brought with them their wealth, and it helped fuel the growth in the early days of Islam. So we should shy away from anything that's financial. Finance is as close to us as our health.
Yes.
You know, it's a resource. It may take different form, centuries after centuries after centuries, but today's manifestation of those wealth is ikhlas.
Your
Is it
physical
hard?
health will stay with you
Yeah,
and only you.
absolutely.
Inshallah, your financial health can be passed on.
Yes,
And
that is part of the amana
Correct.
that you provide the next generation, and that is part of your sadaqah jariyah
of course.
down the line. If I don't leave something for my kids, part of who I am is to leave a legacy.
Of course.
That's a purpose that's given to me just by being a Muslim.
Absolutely.
Is to be purposeful.
Absolutely. And speaking of purpose, you came here for the Islamic Games.
Yeah.
I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come and chat with us. For those who are out there, how do they get in touch with you or find the Islamic Games and
Well,
join the fun?
Yeah, Islamic Games is easy to find. I think if you Google it, we're the first that comes up. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
But you can go to Islamic-Games.com.
Awesome.
Or you can download our app from the iOS as well as Android. We are on Instagram. We're very, very active on Instagram, on social media. You'll find us in a lot of cities.
Well,
You'll find us in the hearts of so many Muslim athletes.
we have Houston, we know, coming up end of September.
Yeah.
After that, what's
After that, we wrap up 2025,
Okay.
and we start packing for 2026.
Perfect.
You know,
Awesome.
2026 starts in Dallas
Okay.
in May, I think, and goes until Houston again in September, October of next year.
Awesome.
Thanks for having. Really appreciate this,
thank
and
you
best
so
wishes.
much.
Best wishes
Appreciate it.
to all that you're doing with Ikhlas.
Inshallah.
It's
With
a
your
beautiful
support,
name.
we're going to do well.
And I look forward to Ikhlas's continued support at the Islamic Games for years to come, inshallah.
Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. We'll see you next time.
All right, thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Awesome. Thank you. It was great.
All right.
So I'm going to see
Hope
you.
that made sense, man.
What's that?
Hope that made sense.
Yeah, of course. I'm going to see you in Houston.